Your electric bill is going up, and it has nothing to do with how much power you're using. Let's decode this together. Electricity bills all across the country are rising fast, and millions of households are already feeling it. Residential electricity rates, that's just a fancy way of saying what you and I pay to keep the lights on, are up 7.4% since last September. In 2025 alone, rates jumped 5% compared to the year before. And the people getting hit hardest aren't big corporations or commercial buildings, it's regular households. Nearly 80 million Americans are now in a position where they're choosing between paying their electric bill and paying for something else: healthcare, rent, groceries. 80 million people. That's not a niche problem. That's a middle-class squeeze hiding inside a utility statement nobody's talking about loudly enough. So why is this happening? The answer most people get is use less energy. But honestly, that answer kind of misses the point. Because even if your household usage stays exactly the same, your bill is still going up. Here's the part that actually matters. The American electrical grid, the whole network of power lines, substations, and infrastructure that moves electricity from where it's generated to where you actually live, is under enormous strain. And upgrading that grid costs serious money. When utility companies, the ones that manage your power, have to invest in new transmission lines or updated equipment, they don't eat that cost themselves. They pass it straight to customers. Which means you're paying more even if you didn't use more. That's not an accident. That's just how the system is built. And it's not just aging infrastructure. Data centers, those massive warehouse-sized buildings packed with servers that power everything from your cloud storage to AI tools, are consuming electricity at a scale we've honestly never seen before. AI, in particular, requires enormous amounts of power just to run. These data centers are competing for electricity on the same grid you rely on. When demand shoots up faster than supply, prices go up. That's basic economics, and it's playing out on your utility bill right now. Then, pile on top of that the fact that more and more parts of the country are seeing extreme weather. Hotter summers mean more air conditioning running longer. Colder winters mean more heating. The grid wasn't designed for this level of sustained demand, and when it gets pushed to its limits, electricity gets more expensive. So here's the real story. The system itself, the infrastructure gaps, the surge in tech demand, the changing climate, is pushing your bill higher. This isn't about leaving lights on too long. This is structural, and that distinction matters. Now let's zoom out, because rising electricity costs don't stay contained to your utility bill. They ripple through the economy in ways that hit your wallet in places you might not expect. Businesses pay electricity bills too. Grocery stores, restaurants, manufacturers. When their energy costs go up, some of that gets passed on in the prices they charge you. So part of the inflation you're already feeling at the checkout line is being quietly powered by rising electricity rates. The housing market feels it too. Homes in areas with high electricity costs are getting harder to afford, especially now that more buyers are looking at the total monthly cost of living somewhere, not just the mortgage. In states like Connecticut, where average monthly bills are already above $220, or Hawaii, where they're over $200, that electricity number is a real factor in where people can actually afford to stay. Small businesses get squeezed as well. A restaurant or a dry cleaner running on tight margins doesn't have much room to absorb a 20% jump in utility costs. Some raise prices. Some cut hours. Some close. All of that has a downstream effect on jobs and local economies. Even renters. We want to address this directly because it's a common misconception. Renters don't escape this. Even if electricity is included in your rent, landlords eventually adjust what they charge when their own costs go up. If utilities aren't included, you're already directly exposed. Either way, rising electricity prices find you. Let's get specific with the numbers. The average American household electric bill right now sits around $150 a month, a 20% increase, which is well within the range of what some households are already seeing, takes that from $150 to $180. That's $360 more every year just to keep the lights on at the same level you always have. A 30% increase pushes it to $195 a month, $540 a year that wasn't in your budget. Look, we know $30 a month sounds like nothing when you say it out loud. But $30 a month is a week of gas. It's a grocery run. It's the copays for a couple of doctor visits you've been putting off. When the budget is already tight, every line item matters. Here's what makes people genuinely angry about this, and honestly, we get it. In areas where major grid upgrades are underway, or where data center construction is booming, rates can climb even faster. Some households in those regions are paying more on their electric bill not because they did anything differently, but because a tech company built a server farm nearby and the grid had to expand to handle it. You're subsidizing the AI boom through your utility bill. Nobody asked you, and nobody's really explaining it either. That's part of why we wanted to make this video. The geographic gap is real too. If you're in Utah, your average monthly bill might be under $90. If you're in Connecticut or Hawaii, you could be paying more than twice that. Same country, very different reality depending on your zip code. A few things worth keeping an eye on over the coming weeks. First, check what your utility company is doing. Many utilities have to file for rate increases with state regulators before they can charge you more, and those are public proceedings. A quick search of your utility's name plus Rate Increase 2026 will usually surface any pending changes. You might not be able to stop it, but you can at least see it coming and plan for it. Second, watch federal energy policy. There are active debates in Washington right now about subsidies for power infrastructure, rules around data center energy consumption, and the future of clean energy funding. Any shift in those conversations will affect how fast your electricity costs climb over the next few years. Third, and this one is actionable right now, find out whether your utility offers time of use pricing. That's a billing structure where electricity costs more during peak demand hours, usually late afternoon and early evening, and less during off-peak times like overnight or early morning. If your utility offers it, shifting your dishwasher, your laundry, or your EV charger to off-peak hours can lower your bill without changing your lifestyle much. It takes about 2 minutes to check on your utility's website, and it could save you real money starting this month. Here's where we land on this. Start with one check this week. Pull up your last electric bill and compare it to the same month 1 year ago. If it's higher and nothing in your household changed, you're seeing this trend play out on your own statement. That's your starting point. From there, the highest impact free moves are shifting big appliances to off-peak hours if your utility supports it, sealing air leaks around doors and windows, which sounds small but genuinely adds up, and checking whether you qualify for any assistance programs. The federal one is called LIHEAP, which stands for Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. It's worth a 5-minute search even if you think you might not qualify, because the income limits are broader than most people assume. If your bill is already hard to manage, call your utility before you fall behind, not after. Most utilities have hardship programs and payment plans, but they're much easier to access before your account goes delinquent. The bigger picture is this. Electricity costs aren't going back to where they were a few years ago. The grid needs rebuilding, demand from technology is accelerating, and those costs are landing on regular households. Knowing that isn't just interesting. It changes how you budget, what you prioritize upgrading in your home, and what assistance you go after before you need it. Quick reminder, everything we cover on Money Decoded is for educational purposes only. None of this is financial advice, and we're not licensed financial advisors. Before you make any money moves, do your own research and talk to someone who knows your specific situation. If this was useful, hit subscribe. We do this every week. That's the decode for this week. We'll see you in the next one.